speaking as usual from 7 p.m. and then hopefully by 7:30 or 7:45, around 30 to 45, we'll start our other IELTS topics. We'll be doing a reading. We'll be covering some writing, and regarding listening, I have already sent you to many of you. Those are enlisted listening practice that you can practice at home. So okay, so if there anybody new, for them I'm going to show you. I'll be showing you some, just I'm going to provide you some basic ideas on ICE first. Let's do that. Okay, guys, I'm going to just show you what ICE is all about first. Especially this one is for mostly the new students. I think you'll get some idea. So ICE, what's the highest score you can get is 9. This is ICE. ICE stands for International English Language Testing System. As of now, in Bangladesh, you can register for ICE on either Saturday or on Thursday. These 2 days, and you can sit for the exam. And it starts, on that very day. It could be on Saturday or Thursday. You'll have to report at around 11:30 to 12 noon, and then the exam usually starts at 1 o'clock, and you start with the listening section. It lasts for around 40 minutes. It has 4 sections. It has 40 questions. Usually each section has 10 questions. 10 questions. Around 10, 12 types of question types altogether. It's kind of a mixed and audio. There is audio, and based on the audio, you write. You write in your listening script, and finally you get extra 10 minutes to transfer your answer from the listening script to your listening answer script. Okay, so this is pretty much for the listening. This one, you start with the listening. There's no official break. After that, you move on to the reading section. As I mentioned, it's around 40 minutes. Here, it's 60 minutes. Reading. We'll be doing 3 passages. I'm giving you an overview of the academic version. It's academic module, and another one is GT, general training. I'm focusing on the academic module. So we have 3 passages. We have 40 questions, and we have around 12 types of questions. Okay. So the highest you can get is 9. In listening, you can get is 9, and then comes the writing, and it lasts for 60 minutes. Then you move on to the writing section. This one lasts for 60 minutes. This is task 1. This is task 2. Task 1 is, say out of 9, it's 3. It accounts for 3 marks, and in task 2, it accounts for 6 marks. Task 1 is basically we're writing a report. You're writing a report, 150 words ago. It's intended for a university teacher or professor, and you're expected to spend 20 minutes there. And it's pie chart. These are the 7 types of report they will ask you to write just any of these. It could be pie chart, it could be bar chart, it could be line graph, it could be a table chart, it could be a map, it could be a process diagram. I've just written process because I didn't have space, and it could be a flow chart. Process diagram means how, say, cement are made, how construction rod are made. They will give you a picture and you'll have to just write that. And flowchart is, just think about, how a student gets admission in a university. First he applies, so they will give you some, kind of a directed map. From there you'll have to follow and then pick it up, how it progresses from one stage from another stage, and you'll be writing your answer. So it's 150 words, that's the minimum, and you shouldn't be taking, it's up to you, 20 minutes, because you'll have to write a long essay. So usually they suggest you spend 20 minutes. Then you move on to the task 2. You can even write the task 2 first. So basically task 2 is an essay, and the total mark is 6. You must write 250 words, is 40 minutes. There are usually 5 kind of essay. One is opinion essay. You'll have to write any of these. You don't have any option. They will just give you a essay. A discussion essay, it could be problem solution essays, it could be advantage, disadvantage essay, double question. We usually try to cover one essay, on a given day. Not every day. Today, say, we'll be covering mostly task 1, and day after tomorrow we have another IELTS session. On that day, we're going to cover essay. Okay, so there's another section, that's the speaking section. So we start with the listening, then we move on to the reading, and then we move on to the writing. And on a separate day, you have the speaking. On a separate day means this day, it lasts for 11 to 14 or 15 minutes. It could happen. So if you're sitting for your exam on Saturday, it could be before that Saturday or even after, any given day, within a week, before or after that particular day. Even Thursday, the same thing happens. Say, not on Thursday. If you register on Thursday, on Thursday, you are going to sit for listening, reading, and writing, these 3 sections. And the speaking could be before Thursday, within a week, or after Thursday, on the following week, within a week. So they will give you a date, and you'll have to be present there on a designated place. So usually we have part 1, 4 to 5 minutes. Part 2 is a cue cut. The part 1, they ask you just regular questions, everyday question. Part 2 is a cue cut. They will give you a topic, and on that particular topic, you'll have to speak out for 1 to 2 minutes. And part 3 is a follow-up question. Say on part 2, say they might even ask you, you describe your best friend or first vacation. And part 3, if it's a friend, in part 2, they might ask you about friendship, more detailed question. And if part 2 is about the vacation, and part 3, you must, about tourism and all this kind of stuff. So it's basically 9. What happens, whatever you get in these 4 sections, out of 9, they will add it up and they will divide it by 4 and the average. So IELTS 2. Fine. Okay, let me show you what kind of listening test. This is a listening test. This is a listening test. This is a real listening test. It's from Cambridge. You see, this is, let me show you like that. Okay. So this is a listening test. This section 1, section 2, this section 3, this section 3, section 4. Based on audio, they will play audio. You'll have to do different kind of tasks. And somewhere you'll have to write, somewhere you'll have to match, lots of different kind of stuff. Then let's see a reading. The reading, they will give you 1 hour. 1 hour for the listening. And let's see. So this is a listening test. As I mentioned, the listening. In the listening test, you have 3 passages. So this is passage 1, and there will be 40 questions. This is passage 1. This is passage 2, you see these are the types of questions you'll have to answer. Those are based on the passage. And this is, well, there's more questions. Each of the passage will have around 13 to 14 questions, and altogether the word count will be around 2200 to 2700 distributed among 3 passages. So later in the class, we'll be solving one of these passages. The return of, here, say different kind of question. This is one type of question. This is one type of question. There are different kind of questions. There are different kind of questions. Okay, here. So altogether, three passages. Okay, so let's see. This I'm talking about. This is the real exam. So this could be just one, say, academic module. We are looking at academic. Say this is a bar chart. You have to describe this bar chart. You have to write at least 150 words. At least 150 words. And this one is a essay. You'll have to write a 250-word essay based on this one. They'll give you another writing script. So you'll have to write in this writing script. Okay. Okay, this is pretty much the exam, and I can just show you this one. This one is a sample speaking question. They're going to ask you this kind of questions: school days, buildings. But the first question will be, what's your name? What name should I call you? Where you're from? And can I say a passport? Usually they start with this 4 basic questions, and then they move on to. So this is part 1. School days, buildings. They can ask almost any question you're familiar with. This is part 2. It's a cue card. So they will hear an interesting story that you heard or read about in the years. You'll have to base your answer, usually, not necessarily, on these points. Here, describe a teacher heard or about why the story was in the news and explain why. So they're talking about the news. You heard a story about news, and there are more related questions here. Say about newspapers. When people, they are going to ask you a few more questions. So here, you need to. This is not about yes or no question. It's more about in-depth question. Some of the questions could be a little bit difficult, but you'll have to, as long as you practice, you're not going to have too much of a problem. Okay, so let's move on to, we are going to start with some speaking practice today. And I'm going to ask you, are there some of this question? Okay, so we can, I can just show you a little bit more. So here, as I mentioned, so this is the listening exam. So, usually what happens after one section, you're done with one section. Usually you get some time, say 30 seconds, they usually ask you to recheck whatever you have written. You'll have to, based on the audio, you'll have to fill up those blanks. You usually write it with pencil here, and after you're done with this one, they give you 10, usually almost 30 seconds, to check the answers. But it's always better to move on. Instead of checking the answers, it's always better to move on to the next section. And start reading it. And in some cases, you can underline it. You can even underline it in this way. Always underline. It helps. It helps. If you don't underline, traffic jam, pollution, pedestrian safety, like that. Also in part 1, the same thing happens. So here, always vacancies for, so it helps. Trousers. So the keywords, basically the keywords. So when you listen, you can relate with that. 2 shifts. Okay. So as I mentioned, always try to use up that 20 almost 30-second time. Move on to the next. You are allowed to do that, and then start underlining it, and so you will get the idea. You'll be able to relate it more easily. All the keywords. Okay, here after we have a map. Here you'll have to say that what F is. F could be a new sign where they're going to put a new sign. G could be an art, not artwork. It could be, yes, it could be an artwork somewhere here probably. You'll have to match it. So sometimes it's difficult, a little bit more challenging because these are not always in order. So they will, they will talk about this map and you have to connect. Okay, what about this one? This one is in which two ways is then here. The same thing. Once you're done with the second section, they're going to give you more time here. Okay, and you'll be able to get 30 seconds. Try to cover as much as possible. And whenever they're starting an interaction, just look for the nouns. Sometimes depends, which helps you to find the answers. Then you move on to this one, next one, and then the last one is usually a little bit difficult sometimes because they give you less time. So they give you less time. And so this is the last one, 37 to 40. They will check your spelling. Spelling could be a challenge as well. You'll have to make sure that you don't make any mistake in the spelling, and make sure that whatever you write in here, you transfer it properly. If you make a mistake while transferring the answer to the answer sheet, you will penalize. As I was saying, this is the reading. You have 3 passages. Sometimes for many students, this could be a challenge because not all the topics are familiar. The first one is usually easy. So altogether 1 hour. So I would suggest you to spend around, finish it as quick as possible. The first one, because it's usually easier. So 12, 13, try to, just take it. It's not more than 15 minutes. Then you move on to the second one. The second one usually, I would suggest you to spend around 15. Try to finish it with the 15. Let's make it 18. So in that case, I can save some time for the third one. Third one is mostly, sometimes it's challenging. The topic is usually more difficult as well, more scientific in nature, and there are different kind of questions. So sometimes it's a challenge for us. Okay, so we're done with that. Let's start practicing with our speaking. Speaking. We'll be doing some speaking today. Hello, Irina. How are you? Are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm fine.
Okay. How are you? You're okay physically?
Yes, sir. I'm fine. How about you?
Thank you. So, are you going out? Have you been out your house?
No, sir. No, sir.
What was the last time you went outside of your house?
It was in March.
It was in March. Today is what? So on which occasion? So, okay, so it's March, not for a single time. Yeah?
No, sir. Never.
So why? You're afraid or?
Sir, we are extreme careful person. Like we don't need to go out. So, any of my family member don't go out for any kind of thing.
Anybody? All of your family members?
No, sir.
From March, nobody, not for a single reason.
So he's on general.
Okay.
Go out.
So what about your daily vegetable and all those stuff? Where do you buy it from, or somebody bring it for you?
Sir, can you ask me again?
Okay, the groceries or the
Oh, sir,
vegetables.
we ordered it online, and now we are in lockdown. So there is an shop
Okay, okay, so
order
you're
from there. They
bring it to you.
yes,
That's
sir.
good.
They gave us to it,
Even
so we
vegetable,
don't need to go outside.
even vegetable. They also
Yes,
provide you
yes, sir.
vegetable.
Vegetables, everything, including groceries, so
So what
everything.
is it a super shop or no? What
Yes,
is it?
sir. Super shop.
Which one? Which one?
Sir, shop no.
Oh, shop no. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
everything they
Yes, sir.
is it
Yes, sir.
fresh?
They supply
Or
everything, and they are all good. So I
oh, okay,
must say they are giving good service to us.
okay. So you're happy with the quality, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
I'm
good,
happy.
good, good. Okay, so fine. So this Faiza from Faiza, are you there? Faiza, how are you? Faiza. Okay. Okay. So okay, let me ask you a few more questions. So this is just a sample of the speaking questions. They're going to ask you different kind of questions. Irina, can I ask you something? One or two
Yes,
questions.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So this is a third part question. Third part question are not very straightforward. Usually it's sometimes it has implied meaning. Implied meaning means it's not say you can't usually give as a yes or no. You'll have to explain that. So how important is it for people to have a choice of newspaper? Do you understand the question? How important is it for people to have a choice of newspaper? You get it,
Ji sir,
Irina?
I understand this question. Actually, now in modern era, we are
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Facebook, Instagram. So normally in our generation, kids or adults, teenagers don't read actually newspaper. They saw news on Facebook, like
They
social
usually
medias.
see.
Yes,
They
sir.
usually watch.
So
Watch.
yes, so they don't. I don't think so. It's too important, but like our grandpas, grandmas, they love to read newspaper at morning. So
No, no, no,
basically,
no, no. My question was, how important is it for people to have a choice of newspaper? Choice. Choice. Just think about that. In the United States, I say you're a Trump supporter. Irina, you listen to me?
yes,
You're
sir.
getting it? Think about. I think about some people. They love what Democrat, the Democrat Party, and some people they support what the Republican Party. If we had only one newspaper, and if that newspaper always was biased towards Republican, what what would happen? Say, think about you support the Democrats. You understand what I'm saying, Irina?
Yes, sir. I'm
Then then
understanding.
then 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 would you see that they're always supporting Trump? You may not be happy with that. So do you think, likewise, if you're a supporter of the Republican Party, definitely you would like to read what newspaper that supports? No, we are
Sir,
biased, kind of.
democracy.
So no, what I'm saying that is it very important? Is it important about that? So the choice of newspaper. Say, if you have only one choice, say you like cooking. Sometimes not every newspaper they focus on cooking. If you have the choice, if you have multiple newspapers, so you can choose that particular newspaper that provides lots of information on cooking. You get my point. So
Yes,
it's
sir. Yes,
better
sir.
to
I
have
get
choice.
it.
It's always better to have choice. But in some country, if there's a dictator, he doesn't want other news, only his or her news. So they might go for just one newspaper. Okay. So Mohammadul, are you there? How are you?
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir. I'm
You're
fine, sir.
fine.
How are you? How are you?
I'm fine. Okay, you're safe.
Yes, sir. Till now, I'm safe.
Safe. So you're not going out probably, that
Uh,
much?
Yeah, sir. I am not like I don't need to go outside because everything I need in at my home. So
Um, okay, okay. So I'll be asking you a few questions. Right?
okay, sir.
Just, just a moment. Okay. So okay, let me ask you from here, and then we'll move on to the other question. So let's
Okay, sir.
say, okay, newspaper. How is internet news different from the news you read in the newspaper? Is it very different or no? It's almost the same.
Uh, Sir, sir, from my experience back for I started using internet back 2014, I guess, on my
Okay.
phone. So after that, I really shift myself towards the online newspaper. I didn't really need read the physical newspapers anymore.
Okay. Okay.
So I figured it out. Yeah, there is a pretty difference between online newspaper and offline newspaper.
Which
So
one is
for
good? Is it about this one is better than the other one? Good news, bad news, or what's the positive of what's the strength of
I think,
newspaper? What's the
sir.
strength of newspaper and what's the strength of online news
Okay, sir. Sir,
portal?
for example, talking about offline newspaper, they are not that updated with than the online newspaper. So online newspaper always give you the updated news, whatever something happen, and you can get within 5 minutes or 6 minutes of time. You can
Okay.
get the whole news.
So
But in
this is
case
the
of
I think this is the biggest
the
biggest
biggest,
advantage. Huh?
yeah,
The
yeah,
biggest advantage.
you
Huh?
can task updated with the whole world what is going on outside your house. So and
Okay.
in terms of offline newspaper, I can say there are more creative writing available in offline newspaper. There are
Offline.
more
Okay.
like there could be found good articles to read out, and
Okay.
there could be good.
It could be like that when you're reading newspaper.
Yeah,
Your patience is more. Those who
yeah, sir.
read physical newspaper, paper-based newspaper, they are more patient about it and they want to read it.
Yes, sir.
But
Yeah, and
online, we don't want to read too long.
yeah, sir. Yeah,
Not
yeah. It
that
is
long. We
really
expect.
we don't feel really comfortable after 5 minutes of reading online
Okay.
newspaper.
Okay. Fine.
But in
Okay.
case of physical, it's a better story.
Okay. So, anybody else? Faiza from Chittagong, are you there? Faiza,
Yes, sir,
Anna,
I'm here.
how are you? Fine. You're from Chittagong. You're in Dhaka or Chittagong? Oh, okay. So, because city. Okay. So, are you in Dhaka or from other place? Faiza?
Sir,
Okay. Okay.
sorry,
Okay.
sir. Sir,
No
I'm
problem.
here, sir. Sorry, sir.
Huh,
So can
no
you,
problem.
sir,
Okay.
can you ask again, sir?
Okay. Fine. Fine. Uh, let me ask you a question. Huh? Say,
Sure, sir.
uh, mm, oh, what's the good news? Oh, so, what's your favorite news portal? What's your favorite
Uh,
news portal?
news portal, favorite news
A
portal.
newspaper news portal is it online? Your favorite
Yeah,
one or
definitely, sir. This that's online because
which one? Which one?
read
Can you
the
share?
news. Sure,
Can you
sir.
which one?
I mostly read the Prothom Alo because I think they have the most authentic news
Okay.
over the other
But let me
newspapers.
tell you one thing. If it's from IELTS, always
Sir,
go for an English paper. I'm always pro English. No, I'm just talking, because they want to see that you're more into it. They were told you might be a big fan of Hindi or Bengali movies. Say think about movies but this is technically more correct. While usually try to be biased towards English, at least up
sure,
to the exam, Then forget about that. Then you can say whatever you like. Okay, so anything English, because it inspires us as well, because you
sir,
are following.
sure, sir. I used to read the Daily Star, and I love their magazines because they used to put a lot of different articles there, and they issues going on around
Okay,
about the new
okay.
gen.
What about
Sir,
now? Have you read any news today?
sir,
Have you read any?
actually, sir, no, sir. I haven't read any news today.
No. So usually, are you in the habit of reading newspaper or no? Not really. You don't. read news?
Sir, actually, I do. I didn't get to read today.
Okay, today. Okay, so what do you remember? What was the last news you read about in the any portal yesterday? It could be yesterday or.
Sir, I actually news portal. I didn't remember the name. I sometimes read
But
articles
what
from
was the
the
topic?
internet.
What was the topic? You know what's happening in the world now? What's the
Sir,
headline?
actually, that was about the coronavirus thing.
Okay, fine. Okay, apart from coronavirus is very common. We are
Yes,
sick and tired of listening to, not sick of and tired. It's very important. We know that. But what's important now? What's happening? You know, what's the headlines, the news these days? In a very what's really happening in the world? Any? Have
Sir,
you
the everything is actually somehow related to the coronavirus because it
read?
has a very big impact everywhere. I
Okay.
saw the what can I say, the Trump was giving a
Okay, so he had I think where in Tulsa was it in Mississippi probably, huh? Or no,
yeah,
not in Mississippi.
Oklahoma. I'm
Oklahoma.
not
Okay, it's
sure. He
Oklahoma.
was giving a
So,
speech about why should people vote him and all, and he was actually bashing about the other parties. Uh,
okay. So it was what probably he started his what this vote in November. So
yes,
it
sir.
was so it was a Republican. What's that?
Yeah,
You know, it's a campaign. Huh? It was the start of the official campaign.
yeah, that campaign.
Okay. Anybody else? You know, anybody who would like to? Irina, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, did you read any interesting news? Something is going on between China and India. What was that? Any idea?
Yes, sir.
Did anything happen between China and India lately?
Yes, sir.
What?
The China's soldiers killed many Indian Army's person.
Okay. So they
That's
had
why
some kind of.
they are having some differences between two countries, and kind of like no one supporting India right now, I guess.
Okay. So Mahmood, any
Yes,
other news?
sir.
Any,
Yes, sir. I like to share one of the news that I read yesterday night. So it was, sir, it was from the Daily Star. So the
okay,
news
what
is
was that?
news was about is Bangladesh is to get priority if the China develop COVID-19 vaccine. So it's a really like I think it's a really positive news for us.
All right.
China already committed us to if they developed vaccine, Bangladesh will be prioritized.
But
So
still, any ideas? They think about what if they develop it within 2 months? So how long it might
sir,
take
they
for
are
us to get?
working on
Oh, five, yes,
no,
five
sir.
probably.
Uh,
Five, on five
so,
probably potential vaccines. And now they are having a
sir, I
problem.
read about only that the okay, sir.
Yeah, one or two. They have a problem because they don't have that many patients in China. So I
Yeah.
think they are planning to use it in Brazil. Where there are lots of with coronavirus patients. So you need people, and this is the third stage. In third stage, you need to experiment on a large population. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Many
So they
people.
already selected 5 people for to implement
Five
the
people. Five
yeah, they
people
all
means what?
like
Only
like
five people. How come?
candidates. So
Only
sir,
five candidates. Five what?
yeah,
Country? Country? You're talking about
sir.
country?
Sir, I think I don't know, but I just remembered that there is something called in five that there 5 candidates were already approved from the Chinese for the trials, and
Only five candidates. And five
yeah,
people. You're talking about five people.
sir, I don't know exactly
No.
what.
I think five people is too, so it should be a little bit
Yeah,
more, even in the
it's
early stage, because five is, I think, it's difficult to, just get some
yeah,
idea about. Okay, but
and
but you are trying to say that, you know, say we are lucky, we could be lucky. And what do you think India won't get? We will get earlier than India, or India may not even get from China if China can do something.
Yeah, sir, there is, I think there is a game is going on between the Bangladesh and Chinese and India. So in case of Bangladesh, so I think Bangladesh will be get prioritized.
Okay, let's see. Let's hope for this.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Let's hope for this. So you'll be happy, if they would favor us. You'll be happy.
Yeah, we really will be happy because I know that it's a Chinese game that is going on. It is my assumption that is going on over all the world. So I think it's also their business policy. Sir, think about after if they are developed this vaccine, they will be huge. They will do huge business with it. Yeah.
Even if they don't charge a big amount of money, because the small amount of money on each dose, it might end up in a big way.
This coronavirus has become an hot cake topics. Like if you.
But okay, listen. If it comes to Bangladesh, who will get first? The politicians.
I think the government
parties
government parties will be taking all of them.
Or ministers or
yeah.
They will get priority.
Yeah,
or older people. Older
and
people
maybe
will
the
get.
people who is surviving in ICU, so maybe they will get prioritized.
Even the doctors, because doctors are working, they are very vulnerable. Those who are working in the front line.
Yeah, they are.
Would you mind, if they're given the vaccine first?
No, sir, I don't mind.
You are a young.
Yeah.
Strong.
The people who are surviving in the ICU beds, they need more than
they
me
need
because
more. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So I think.
Okay, so Shibli, are you there? You'd like to participate, Shibli Numan?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Can I just ask you a question? Huh? No problem.
Okay.
So, what's the most unusual building you have seen in Bangladesh? Have you been to other countries as well? Any other country?
Yeah. I have visited a couple of countries earlier.
Okay, so anywhere, any building, that you thought that was very different, and you looked at that. And where?
In 2018, I had the chance to visit to Singapore.
Okay.
Then the iconic building of Singapore was the that is what's the name of the building?
Okay, fine.
There is actually Marina Bay Sands. There's the Marina Bay Sands. There is a 7-star or 5-star hotel, and at the top of the building there is a rooftop pool, which is also the iconic view of the ocean from that pool.
Okay, so if someone talks about a building, that you envision that one because you are amazed, huh? Were you amazed by? Okay. So,
yes, definitely.
Okay. So what about, are there any other building? Is it from Singapore or some other place? Any other building that you can remember?
Any other building? Remember? I actually at this moment I can't recall any other building.
No problem.
Which can I mention here?
Yes, one is fine. Okay, thank you. I'll come back to you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sharna, are you there? Sharna?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how are you today? Fine? Okay, so.
Yes, sir, everything fine.
Fine. Hopefully. Okay, so let me ask you a few other questions. Huh? Let me. Do you drive? Do you drive, Sharna?
No,
in Bangladesh?
No, sir, I can't, sir. I didn't learn how to drive. I don't know.
Okay.
But I have, sir, I have wish. Yes, sir, I have a wish to learn.
You'd like to say, is there any chance you'll be driving in Bangladesh or Dhaka? Say if you have.
Yes, sir, of course.
When you want to?
Yes, of course, sir. when I sir earn my own money, I can establish myself. That time I buy my own car. That time I definitely learn how to drive.
Do you think it's safe to drive in Bangladesh? Given the
Uh,
traffic, and do you think it's safe?
no, sir. It's in Bangladesh. There is a lot of traffic problem, but people should maintain traffic rules. That time, I think it's in decrease our accidental problem.
So I think in our country, most of the people, they depend on drivers. Usually, you won't find too many people driving their own car, self-driven. Why? What could be the reason? Is there any particular reason for that?
Yes, sir. Because if they travel a bus, that is so I think crowdy, and people face lot of problem, or because many people wait.
No,
But bus.
Shorna, my question was, why don't you see too many people driving their own car? Usually we see that they depend on drivers. In Bangladesh, that's the common scenario. But in Western country, in other, you don't usually find drivers. মানে নিজেরাই ড্রাইভ করে বাংলাদেশে বিদেশে নিজেরাই বেশি ড্রাইভ করে বাংলাদেশে ড্রাইভার থাকে এটা কি কারণে what could be the reason
Because they didn't want to drive. They just thought that it's so tough, and they are lazy, I think.
Okay.
Sir, I think they have Bangladesh have a driver with his own car is give him or her a social status.
The social status, okay, could be. And another thing, I think it's kind of crazy.
Can I add one thing more?
Is it Mahi?
Actually, yes, sir. Actually, the one car as used as a everyone's family member. So if one
drives, you are
it's
occupied.
used for many purposes.
Okay, so that could be one reason, because if you take the car to office and you are there throughout the day, then what happens? Nobody can use that car. So that could be one reason. That could be one reason. But
yeah,
apart from that, I think driving in Bangladesh is a kind of a hassle, because nobody is really following rule properly. So people want to, relegate it to the drivers. I don't want to worry about that. Let him drive it, and let me, check out the mobile, or let me read newspapers, or do something else. Huh? In most of the cases, it happens. Okay. So this okay. Okay, so environment. So do you think that this global warming, is it a big problem, or like Trump, you think is not a big problem? Who wants to speak out? Shibli? Shibli, do you think that global warming is a big problem, or not really? We shouldn't be worried much about that.
Of course. We must very much worry about. We should think about the global warming. It's a very much problem for the whole world. Basically, like ours, Bangladesh, our and coastal countries are very much in risk for this global warming. And what should I say?
Okay, fine. Then who else would like to speak out?
Sir, I can try.
Okay, yes, fine. You can participate. So, okay. Let me ask you. How what was the last time you checked the weather forecast? What was the last time?
Sir, it was almost. I really. It is rare to me because to check weather forecast. But I think it was almost 1 month. There was an like storm going on between the Bangladesh and India. So at that time, I was trying to get the real information from a website. I don't remember the name, where I can see the what is going on the world map about this storm.
Okay.
And if I add, it's I sometimes I really check weather forecast in the summertime. That time I need to know what is today's temperature is going higher or even more higher than previous day. So it's really rare, but I do check sometimes.
So Mahi, can I ask you, Mahi?
Yes, sir.
Are you there? Okay, so do you enjoy hanging out with your family more than your friends, or no? You know, whom do you enjoy more? Is it the friends or your family?
Nowadays, we become teenager to younger one, not a senior one. So I can definitely say that it's very much relaxed when you are with your friends and family. But when you choose between these two, it's quite tough. But I will prefer family first.
Is it different, spending time with your family and spending time with your friends?
Definitely, sir. Definitely. When I was when you are kid or teenager, that is quite different. But when you are up to the senior or something like that, that is quite different thing, because your description or conversation is quite different. It's all about your different things. When you hang out with your family, that is different topics that are ongoing, and another is friends is like there is kind of comfort zone issue there.
Okay, let me ask you. Good, thank you. Irina, can I ask you? So, what was the last time you you drenched yourself in the rain? So you were completely wet. You purposefully, you were out there during the rain. What was the last time? Last যখন ভিজেছো একেবারে মনে পড়ছে, ইচ্ছা মতো ভিজেছিল. What was the last experience you had?
Sir, last year in monsoon season.
Monsoon season. So what, in your house or?
Yes, sir, in my rooftop. Sir, in my rooftop.
So, what about, your parents permit you to do that, or is it risky, because you might get fever?
No, sir, not always clean. So no, there is no slippery place, or the boundary wall is too much high. So there are no risks at rooftop.
So sometimes when you're taking a shower in the rain, are you afraid that the thunderstorm, if there is there any chance that thunderstorm might you might be stricken with the thunderstorm? Any chance? Are you afraid if it's making sound, or no? Sometimes it
yes,
might.
Sir. It might happen. It might happen. Are not really. Not too much. I got drenched in the rain, because it's whenever I do that, I got fevers. I'm so very sensitive person, so I have to be very careful about this. So not really, like sometimes if I can't really do, but I can't do it, but at least do that. So last year in I don't really do that.
Okay, fine. Mahmudul, can I ask you? Say,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What about, say, most of us, we have water filters in our home.
Yeah.
Most of, say some are more expensive, some are less expensive. So do you think it's a waste of money, just having, because I'm saying that in foreign country, many country, they don't have water. They have central water filter, but you get my point. They
yes,
don't
sir,
have in their house.
Sir,
so is it and probably they spend what in Bangladesh, probably in the talk show they say around more than 300 crore taka you spend on just this purifying purifying the water to make it potable. So is it
Sir,
a waste? Is this a waste? What do you think?
Sir, as I think to some extent it's really necessary for people who are live in Dhaka, city like Dhaka, where for example, that some days ago there was a talk show that is went to viral, that one of the chief person from Wasa has like ordered like suggests that the people who are is living in Dhaka, they don't need to boil their water before before
Okay.
they
Yes. Yes. Yes.
eat,
Even the
before they
probably
drink.
the MD of Wasa, he claimed.
Yeah,
He
claim that.
claimed.
But in his office, he also used the filtration system
The
for his
filtration.
personal use, and it's really, and I can see that, yeah, I in my home, I can see that my mom is boiling water before the filtration. So it's really, I need sometimes there's some some materials also come with the water, that is seen by you can see from the in the water. So I think not the other part of my country it is not that much necessary. For example, some town beside the Dhaka and other districts, but I don't think that in using filtration it's a waste of money in Dhaka. It's really necessity, and it's give you more confident before you drink some water.
Okay. Faiza, are you still there? Sorry, I didn't see you there. Are you there, Faiza?
Yes, sir.
Faiza.
I'm here, sir.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Your name didn't pop up there. So do you have a garden in your house? Do you have a garden in your house?
No, sir. Sorry, sir. We don't have a garden in our house. We don't have that opportunity to maintain so.
So you live in an apartment. That's the reason. You'll have to explain. Always you'll have to. This is just a question, but you'll have to expand a little bit. I think 4 to 5 sentences usually. In IELTS it works. Please.
Sir, we don't have a garden because we do live in an apartment, and in our balcony we used to have a small garden. My mother used to maintain that, but due to the sunlight, because we don't have enough sunlight in our balcony, the flowers used to die. Although we tried to maintain it properly, we couldn't.
So this will add more mark to your answers. You see, you are forcing the examiner to share the ideas. You get my point? He or she is thinking about that. He or she is also his or her own experience. You get my point? He's forced to think about that. So it helps. Okay. So just these answers are basically everyday answers. And so the more you communicate, because you are showing that you can communicate. Get my point? Okay, good.
Sure, sir.
Mahi.
Yes, sir.
So where do you want to see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to see yourself in the next 5 years?
I have a vast plan for the next 5 years, though. So next 5 years, I will definitely see myself in a good position in a job sector with a higher master's degree in a abroad period. So inshallah, it will be happen if all things is sorted. If all things is sorted and my plan is going on, then it will be happening.
Okay, so you're moving on with your plans, and hopefully if things turns out,
things happens like the planning.
But are you working hard? Do you think planning is important, or realizing the plan is more important? Are you putting in that time?
Exactly. Yes, execution is the most difficult part when it comes to in real life, because there is lots of things happens in your surroundings.
Okay, in your case, are you good at are you good at planning, or are you good at executing? Some people there.
I must say I need some motivation. I have planning, I have some execution thing go on, but I need someone who push me or motivate me further for me.
Good.
But it works.
Okay. So, Mahmudul, can I ask you, do Bangladeshi people like growing flowers? Are we into flowers or not really? We just want to, buy flowers from gift shops or flower shops. Are we into really growing in flowers? We love flowers.
Yes, sir. I think people, most of the people who are studying university, they are really love to giving others to flowers. For example, for some traditional occasion like Pohala Boishak and some others, like Pohala Falgun, in this type of occasion, people are really tends to buy flowers from shops, flower shops, and they try to decorate themselves with flowers. And there are so many I can say that there are many events going on in that particular time where flower becomes the one of the most decorative item. Uh,
Okay.
Particular in my university, I can saw that.
Fine, you can see that. Okay.
Yeah.
So Nusaira, how are you there? Hello, Nusaira. Nusaira, you're there? Hello, Nusaira. Okay, no problem. Let me ask someone else. Irina. Irina. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Irina.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do you think it's very common to have cosmetic surgery in Bangladesh?
No, sir, not really. Not common people don't do that, but as celebrity, I think they do. Actually,
Okay. They do.
yes. So
They celebrate it.
yes.
Celebrate.
So as a normal people, we don't really need to plastic surgery, or we don't do
Or
that.
cosmetic surgery. But still, yes, some people, they have to do that in Bangladesh or anywhere. Even if it's not for the celebrity.
This
What are
acid
the
attack or something like that.
if there are accidents and mostly burn, so people need to do that. In some case, it doesn't have to enhance your beauty, but reconstructive. I think there are lots of reconstructive surgery, taking place in many places. Okay, so others. Shibli,
Yes, sir.
What about the role of money? Do you think money is important? But
Yes. Yes.
how important is money to make someone happier?
Happier. Truly saying, money is actually a very important thing to make someone happy.
I think first you think that money will make you happy. Then if you have money, then you might realize that probably it's not working like that. You thought that it's going to make you happy, but first, in most of the cases, people think that if they have more money, they have more freedom. I think money, is it related to freedom? That's why money makes you happy. Why? What are the biggest reason?
Yes, actually, in this world, we have our culture and surrounding in like with that money, we can do most of the things with money. Maybe it does not give the actual happiness in our mind, but we can do many things. We can do most of the things with money.
Okay, most of the basic needs help.
Basic needs, we can meet our basic needs with money. We can do whatever we want to buy, or whatever we want to wherever we want to go with the help of money. We can give someone money, that is also helpful for others. Actually, money is the key factor for everyone's life, because money, people works for money, people lives depends on money, and money brings the happiness in
Okay, in
someone's life.
Western country they have some advantage. Even they're not working, they get some money. So we earn money in order to live, but in Western country they earn money in order to live better.
Right.
There's a kind of a difference. So if they are earning money, they can enjoy life in a much more better way. But they usually, in many of the countries, not all the countries, especially the richer countries, think about Canada, think about United States, in most of the country, they get some money, just they can live by. But that doesn't allow them to go for vacation. It doesn't, to go for fancy restaurants. But you get my point. That's one thing. Okay, so Nusaira, are you there? Nusaira, hello, Nusaira. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can I ask you just one question? That do you know any foreign language except English? Is there any other language you know how to speak?
Yes, sir. As a neighboring country of India, so a lot of people in Bangladesh know Hindi pretty well.
Okay,
and
pretty well.
It's pretty similar to Bangla too, so I know English as well as Hindi.
Hindi. Okay, what about any other language? If you're given the option.
I'm interested in learning French actually and German, but I haven't been able to do that yet, but I'm planning on doing it pretty soon.
So how are you going to do that? You're going to get yourself in online, or it's better to go to a...
Alias process offers a French course actually of 4 to 6 months, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're pretty
they're pretty good.
Well trained, yes. So
well trained. Okay. So, do you think? What about how do you compare? Learning a language online and learning a language in a class.
I haven't actually tried online classes for learning another language. So
okay, so you can compare much. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So let me, Hobby Faiza, can I ask you? Huh?
Sure, sir.
So, what are good hobbies and what are bad hobbies? Can you name a few good hobbies? And bad, is there any bad hobbies? Bad hobbies? There could be any bad hobbies? Or no, all hobbies are good.
Sir, I don't know if hobbies can be bad, but if we pick up some habits which can actually lead us to some negative negative way, that can be bad hobbies.
Okay, what's the most common hobby in Bangladesh, in our country? The most common hobby.
Most common hobby is we can say that having sports
in a country.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because in the rural areas, the most kids actually play in the ground, different kind of games they play, and they take sporting as their leisure time hobby mostly.
Okay. Fine. That could be okay. So, whom can I ask? Mahi, can I ask you?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that do you think reading is a hobby? Reading could be a hobby. Is it a hobby or not? Or we have to read. Everybody has to read. But reading as a hobby, what about, is it storybook? Think about a storybook or periodicals, all those. Huh? So that's
yes, sir.
that's
Actually, it's a very man to man or person to person, if I ask for, because I know some people who loves reading. It's not about some books or something else. They love reading blog. Right now, they are
listen,
reading
some
blog.
people, they never get time. They never get time to read books. So, and some people, they're always reading books. So what's the big problem?
Is it only focused on reading books or something else also? Because we read blog, we can read blog, we can read newspaper as a hobby. Because I know some person who are not actually ongoing for some news, but they love to buy newspaper for as a hobby and turn their pages as if they are going for their headlines or something else as a hobby, but not the passionate one or for a learning process or more.
Okay, guys. Okay, we have another one. Let's ask him one question. Mubtasim, how are you? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Mubtasim? Okay, let me ask you one or two questions. What was the last time you went to a live concert? Not within the last 3 or 4 months, sure. So what was the last time you went to a live concert? Do you remember?
I don't really went to a live concert.
Never. Okay,
no,
so you're not into that. Is there any particular reason for that? You don't love it, or your parents don't allow it, or what?
To be honest, I'm not into that sort of things.
Okay, fine.
to go somewhere else, and most of the time my parents don't allow it, and
Okay.
the friends I have, they are also
They
not interested in this.
about it. So do you think if you go abroad, this might change? You might become interested going to concerts. If you go
I
abroad, if you
think so.
start studying.
I think if the in the environment around there is very different from our country, so I
Very
might be
different.
interested in the music they have, and
That will,
I do
yes,
see the concerts they have in that in the other countries, and it looks more interesting
most interesting, more
in
accessible
our
in
country.
some
Yes, sir.
cases, even to okay. So okay, so let's go for some reading today, huh? We're kind of so we can keep on talking. So let's stop it and let's move on to a reading, huh? Okay. So do you like reading? Reading is interesting. IELTS reading. Do you love it or hate it? Anybody? What do you think? You love it or hate it? Huh? Reading, but you'll have to do that. So you'll have to. How important is reading for your IELTS? What do you think? Is it very important?
Yeah, as like
You'll have to do it. It doesn't
as
matter
like
whether you.
speaking,
Okay.
as like listen.
Okay. So wait. So we will be covering. Okay, let me see. We'll be covering. Let's cover this one today. This is a reading. So I will ask you how you are going to solve it. What will be the best strategy? I'll ask you. So this is what. This is the first page. The list of heading. And the other one is from which. Another one. This information is from which paragraph. And that's also very common. These are very common questions, but takes up a lot of time as well. This one heading, and this is the main text. It's the second page. No, this is the third page of this text. This is what we have: true, false, not given, and another one is what it's a fill in the blanks. So how do you come about solving it? Anybody? Any? So which one should be the first one? You'll start with the heading, or no? What's the most easiest, most efficient? Or should you start with a yes, no, not given? Which one? Wait.
Sir, I will look out. I will go for the last one because you all the time you say
Okay,
that.
I usually suggest it. It's up to you, but
I also found that it's really helpful.
It really helps. It helps. I think it helps even if it takes say 30 seconds, 40 seconds to check it out. But if you get into trouble, that will mess you up everything. So yes. I personally will always suggest. So what I'm going to do, but listen, if you have this heading stuff and another one, say they will give you some information, few information, they will tell you from which paragraph you need to find. Usually and if it's at the beginning, we usually cover it first. Why? While reading this one, usually I will do that because I'll be able to find what the partial answer of where it starts from. This one also where it starts, মানে কোথায় শুরু হচ্ছে এটা কিন্তু যদি আমি বের করতে পারি, আমি একটা করছি কিন্তু if I can find out that where this information, usually these are in order. If you can find this one first, you'll be able to do it in order. If you can find the first line, usually you'll be able to finish it in order. So life become much more easier. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm not worried about this one. I won't be thinking about that one because I'll be starting with that. But here, first, in Greece, tourism is so. I will remember only this much. In Greece, what's that? In Greece, tourism is the most important something. So if I remember, they're talking about Greece, and they're talking about tourism, and it's most important. So I don't have to, it's better to remember the idea because they always, most of the time, they use synonyms. So sometimes you can find it because synonyms, it doesn't strike your mind in that. So here, I'm thinking, I know that I'll have to look for Greece, tourism. They're talking about Greece and tourism, about Greece tourism. Fine. You don't have to read all these, because even if you underline this, you won't be able to remember. Don't burden yourself with lots of information. Then less you will forget this. This one, true, false, not given. Are this in order all the time, guys? Yes, in most of the cases. So here, I will always suggest you true money key. What's true? True হচ্ছে this information, if it's there, and if it agrees with this information, this is true. If this information, they're talking about the opposite there, then it false. It says that this is the largest employment. There, they're saying that it's not the largest, then only it false. Then only it's false. They will be talking something opposite. Okay, so I will always go for the first two. Why? Anybody, you can give the reason? I will check the keywords. The largest employment figures in the world are found in travel. Travel, largest employment figures in the world in, okay, this is enough. So they're talking about whether it is true, whether largest, tourism is the largest. Now what about now tourism? Now in today's COVID world, is it the largest or no? It has become kind of the smallest. Is it right?
So this industry has really faced
even they were
hard
saying
time.
that even in Bangladesh, many people, those who are working in this industry, they will lose their job. Achha. And tourism contributes 6%. These are the keywords. An Australian gross national product. Australian gross 6. Why I'm going to do this too? I mean, can I do it first check? Can anybody can give me a reason? Because what if a not given, প্রথমটা যদি একেবারে not given হয়, মানে কি এটা নাই, what I'm going to do, I'll keep on reading, but I won't be able to find it. Think about, I'm looking for the first one. I'm reading, I can't find it. Then what? Then I will again read it. But what if I read the second one? A keyword jodi thake, if I can thorough age Australian national gross product, 6% tourism, then what will happen? Say I'm reading that. The first one is not given. Mane kothao deya nai. I'm keep on reading. I found it here. Mane ki? If I can find it here, I know that it's not given. Nahale a second ta pele ami janchi je second, I have found the second, so the first one. Nahale ki hoy? You keep on reading and what? A second ta to ami podini age. So এখানে অস্ট্রেলিয়া লেখা থাকলেও কি হতো? I wouldn't have found it out. কেন আমি তো জানি না what I'm looking for. আমার কথাটা বুঝছেন আপনারা? আমার কথাটা বুঝছেন?
Yes, sir.
হ্যাঁ, প্রথমবার এর ফলে আমি সবসময় দুইটা করে, I will always ask you to do in pair. তাহলে হয় for some reason, you never know. এটা যদি not given হয়, not given দুই ধরনের আছে, একটা হচ্ছে partial information থাকে, একবার কিছুই থাকে না। এটা যে কোন টাইপের থাকবে you never know. So দুইটা করলে কি হয়, if it is not given, then it becomes easier. পরেরটা যদি পাই, but true hote pare, false hote pare, but by that time you know that it's not given. ঠিক আছে? So this is a technique. So আমি personally করব, I will check this first, এই দুইটা আমি চেক করে দেন, but I'm not solving all this. কেন? If I solve it, মানে আমি যদি আন্ডারলাইন করি, I won't remember. এত আমাকে আবার পড়তে হবে। So আমি এমন কিছু করব না যেটা আমাকে দুইবার তিনবার পড়তে হয়, তাহলে it is a repeat, and repeat is a waste of time. আমি সেই জন্য এইগুলোও করলাম না। আমি সেই জন্য I haven't even covered these one. আমি করতে পারতাম, কিন্তু করলে এত কিছু আমি মাথায় রাখতে পারতাম না। আমি অতটুকুই নেব, I will take only that much, only that much that I can process later. Now what? Now আমি যেটা বলবো, যদি হেডিং থাকে, you'll always start with the first. কেন? While I'll be reading এ কি করতে হয়, আমি ফার্স্ট 4 লাইন পড়ি আর পুরোটুক পড়ি। আচ্ছা, এখানে একটা ব্যাপার আছে, আমি নরমালি actually try to read the whole thing, but fast. আমি তাড়াতাড়ি পড়তে চাই। তাড়াতাড়ি পড়লে যেটা আমার একটা অ্যাডভান্টেজ হয়, এইটা পড়তে পড়তে যেহেতু I'm reading, আমি এইটার পার্শিয়াল অ্যান্সার পেয়ে যাই। যখনই আমার ওইটা মনে আসবে, আমি এখানে দেখলাম, ওকে, ইটস দেয়ার। What? They're talking about what? Largest employment. হয়তো আমি এখানে largest employment পেলাম। What I'm going to do? I'm going to put a mark. হ্যাঁ পড়তে পড়তে এখানে আমি ফার্স্ট সেটে সলভ করছি বিকজ আই হ্যাভ টু রিড অল দেন আই হ্যাভ টু ম্যাচ ইট উইথ দি হ্যাঁ কিন্তু আমি মাল্টিটাস্কিং করছি তো এখানেও আমি হয়তোবা এই গ্রিস পেলাম তো এখানেই যখনই আমি গ্রিস পেলাম এখানে হয়তোবা আমি গ্রিস পেলাম হোয়াট আই এম ডুইং আই এম টু পুট আ মার্ক পরীক্ষার সময় কিন্তু ইউ ক্যান্ট ইউজ মার্কার্স ইউ হ্যাভ টু ইউজ আ পেন্সিল তাহলে একটা মার্ক দিলেই হলো সো এখানে হয়তোবা আমি হোয়াট আই ক্যান রাইট if it's think about 11 if I found Greek এখানে ধরেন আমি গ্রিক পেলাম আমি এখানে হয়তো 11 লিখলাম আর এখানে হয়তো বা সে 5 আমি এখানে 5টা পেলাম আমি এখানে হয়তো 5 এমন করে I wrote 5 কথার কথা বাট আমি কিন্তু ফার্স্ট একটা করছি তারপরে সেকেন্ড প্যারাগ্রাফ পড়লাম আমি দেখাবো তারপর থার্ড প্যারাগ্রাফ বাট ইন দি মিন টাইম এখানে আমি যদি ওয়ার্ডটা দেখি আমার তো বেশি কষ্ট করতে হচ্ছে না আমি জাস্ট একটা সাইন দিয়ে আমি ফার্স্ট এরটাই কিন্তু করব আমি হেডিংটাই করব বাট at the same time I'm trying to partially identify from where the second মানে set of question starts and না হলে কি হবে না হলে ধরেন আমি বলি প্রবলেমটা কোথায় ধরেন I started with this one হ্যাঁ আমি পুরোটু সলভ করলাম এইটা সলভ করলাম এত তো আমি এত মনে থাকবে না আমার মনে হবে যে মনে করেন ফার্স্ট সেটটা কমপ্লিট করলাম করে তারপরে এইটা শুরু করলাম এই লার্জেস্ট এমপ্লয়মেন্ট ইন ট্রাভেল ট্যুরিজম আমার মনে হবে এটা কোথায় দেখেছি কিন্তু এক্স্যাক্টলি কোথায় দেখেছি আমি এটা মনে থাকবে না তখন হয়তো বা হবে দেয়ার ইজ নো গ্যারান্টি দ্যাট ইট উইল ইন দ্য ফার্স্ট প্যারাগ্রাফ আমি এখান থেকে আবার পড়ছি তারপর এখানে আসলো দেখেন এই আমার কি এতটুকু পড়া দরকার ছিল এই এতটুকু নো এরা আমার কোথা থেকে শুরু হচ্ছে সেকেন্ড কোশ্চেনটা ফ্রম হিয়ার থার্ড এর পরের অ্যানসারটা কোথায় হবে সামওয়্যার ফ্রম হিয়ার আমার কথা বুঝছেন সবাই বুঝছেন
ইয়েস স্যার
ইয়েস স্যার
না হলে আমি কি হচ্ছে এই এতটুক তো ইটস আ ওয়েস্ট অফ টাইম এই যে আমি এতটুক যে পড়বো পড়ে তো খুঁজতে হতো এখানে কিন্তু ওইটা না করে আমি যদি একসঙ্গে তিনটা হালকা মানে আমি ফোকাস করছি একটাতে কিন্তু অন্যটা কোথা থেকে শুরু হচ্ছে দি বিগিনিং পয়েন্ট আমি যদি এটা আইডেন্টিফাই করে ফেলি দেন হোয়াট হ্যাপেন্স লাইফ বিকামস মাচ মোর ইজিয়ার মানে তখন আপনি দেখবেন যে সময়টা কম হয় একটা পার্ট ইউ আর নট রিডিং টুয়াইস না হলে দেখবেন যে অলমোস্ট you are reading part of that again and again and again আপনার মনে হচ্ছে it's not a waste of time but it's the biggest factor that wastes your time and that take away your time আচ্ছা এখন যেটা কি করব এখন আমরা আমরা একটা কি করব একটা মিনিট where is that ওকে জাস্ট আ মোমেন্ট হ্যাঁ আমার একটু কাজ করতে হবে হ্যাঁ একটা মিনিট আমাকে একটু সময় দিন জাস্ট আ মোমেন্ট আচ্ছা ফার্স্টে আমরা কি শুরু করব আমাদের ওখানে আমাদের as I mentioned I will always start the heading first হ্যাঁ হেডিংটা এটা আমি হেডিংটা দিয়ে শুরু করব আচ্ছা this is it will help us fine this is the heading আচ্ছা this is the heading ফার্স্টে আমাদের হেডিংটা আমি পার্সোনালি অলওয়েজ I will start with the heading আচ্ছা ফার্স্টে আমাদের আমি অলওয়েজ আমি ফার্স্টে কি দেখব দেখেন এখানে কোনো কিছু অ্যানসার দেয়া আছে নাকি যদি আমার কি দেয়া আছে ইউ নো আই হ্যাভ গিভেন এ এটা তাহলে তো আমাকে কি করতে হবে আই ডোন্ট হ্যাভ টু রিড ইট হ্যাঁ আমার কেন এটা অ্যানসার দেয়া আছে তাহলে ইটস 8 one thing I can do I can আস্তে করে এটা ক্রস করে দিলাম এবং এটা এখানে এসে একটা মার্ক দিয়ে রাখলাম। you don't have to worry about finding, না হলে কি হবে আমি বারবার পড়তে পারি, বিশেষ করে যদি এটা বিসি। হ্যাঁ, আপনারা দেখছেন সবাই? হ্যালো হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ স্যার দেখতে।
জি স্যার, জি স্যার দেখছি।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে। আচ্ছা দেখেন ফার্স্টে আমার, আচ্ছা তারপরে কি আমি এই পড়বো না পড়বো না আমার should I read or no? আচ্ছা শুনেন, আমরা এটা কি পড়বো প্যারাগ্রাফটা? should I read or
Yes
no?
sir, we should read.
কেন? what was the reason?
Reason is there is another heading for the same paragraph.
No, that never happens.
Okay.
না, how can it be like that? আমার যদি দুইটা প্যারাগ্রাফের একই হেডিং হয় তাহলে আমি দুইটা কেন প্যারাগ্রাফ লিখবো? আমার কথা বুঝেন? মানে এটা কোনোদিন হতে পারে যে দুইটার একই হেডিং, তাহলে তো দুইটা ইনফরমেশন তো একটা হেডিং এর আন্ডারেই যাবে। এটা হবে? একটাই বাংলাদেশ কেন? না, এটা তো it doesn't make sense. আচ্ছা, first still we'll read that. Why? Because what are the other questions? আমি তো পড়ছি, there is no guarantee, এমনও হতে পারে the other questions might start from here. আবার অনেক সময় কি হয়, if you don't read this one, পরের পার্টটা কি হয় ঠিক বোঝা যায় না। আমার কথা বুঝছেন? সেই জন্য প্রথমটা খুব তাড়াতাড়ি পড়বো। মানে একটা আমরা হেডিং এর জন্য একভাবে পড়তে হয়, আর অন্যান্য কোয়েশ্চেন সব কিন্তু এক একটা এক এক ভাবে পড়তে হয়। there is some difference. আচ্ছা, এখানে আমি বলছি, আমি কারণটা বলবো why আমি খুব তাড়াতাড়ি পড়বো। কিসের জন্য পড়বো মনে আছে? আমরা অন্যান্য কোয়েশ্চেনে কি ছিল? who can tell me? গ্রিস নিয়ে একটা কথা ছিল, আরেকটা কি ছিল? গ্রিস, আরেকটা
লার্জেস্ট এমপ্লয়মেন্ট।
সো ওখানে যদি আমি পাই, আমি কি করব? আমি একটা সাইন দেব, আর না হলে আমার দরকার নেই। আর এটা কিসের জন্য পড়বো? একটা ফ্লো লাগে, এতটুকু না পড়লে অনেক সময় সেকেন্ডটা ভেরি ক্লিয়ার হয় না, খুব তাড়াতাড়ি। এটা কি স্ক্যানিং না স্কিমিং বলো? কোনটা? স্কিমিং মানে কি? স্কিমিং হলো ভাষা পড়া, জাস্ট টু ট্রাই টু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড হোয়াট দে আর সেইং। ওকে, প্রত্যেকটা মনে রাখতে হবে। হ্যাঁ, এটা স্ক্যানিং। আর স্কিমিং না, এটা স্ক্যানিং। স্কিমিং আর স্ক্যানিং হচ্ছে, আমরা মনে করেন আমি একটা জিনিস খুঁজছি, এই যে রোমান এরা নিয়ে পড়তে আমি ফার্স্টে রোমান এরা যে খুঁজলাম, যে রোমান এরাটা এখানে আছে, এটাকে কি বলছে? এটাকে বলছে স্কিমিং। আমার কথা বুঝছেন? হ্যাঁ, ওইটা কি হচ্ছে স্কিমিং। যখন আমি ওখানে খুঁজে পাচ্ছি, আমি যখন অতটুকু খুঁজে পাচ্ছি, দাঁড়ান, হ্যাঁ, আমি যতক্ষণ ওখানে, তখন যখন আবার রোমান এরা নিয়ে পড়ছি, তখন ওইটাকে কি বলছে? ওইটাকে তখন বলে স্ক্যানিং, কারণ আমার তখন রোমান এরা নিয়ে কোন ইনফরমেশন, আমাকে ওখানে অ্যান্সারটা খুঁজছি। কিন্তু আমি প্রথমে যখন পড়তে কোথায় রোমান এরা আছে এইটা যখন খুঁজছি, এটাকে কি বলে? স্ক্যানিং। আমি তখন কিন্তু রোমান এরিয়া নিয়ে কি বলছে এত পড়ছি না, আমি শুধু খুঁজছি যে রোমান এরিয়া কোথায় মেনশন করা আছে, ওইটা খুঁজতে কি আমরা কি করি? স্ক্যানিং। আর যখন রোমান এরা নিয়ে আরো ইনফরমেশন, ডিটেইল ইনফরমেশন, ওইটা হলো স্ক্যানিং। আর যখন এমনি ওইটা স্কিমিং। আচ্ছা, লেটস সি, তাড়াতাড়ি একটু পড়ি। হ্যাঁ, লেটস রিড ইট কুইকলি। আমরা একটু এটা খুব তাড়াতাড়ি পড়বো। হ্যাঁ, ওকে, লেটস সি, একটু পড়ি। আচ্ছা, travel has existed since the beginning of time, when primitive men set out, often traversing great distances in search of game, which provided food and clothing necessary for his survival. Game মানে কি? The search of game মানে কি? এখানে animal, এখানে game মানে animal. Okay. Throughout the course of history, people have traveled for purposes of trade. Throughout the course of history, people have traveled for trade, religious conviction, economic gain, war, migration. আপনারা পড়তে পারছেন? হ্যাঁ, পড়তে পারছেন এমনি?
Yes sir.
And other equally compelling motivation. But in the Roman area, wealthy aristocrats and high government officials also travel for pleasure. Seaside resorts located at Pompeii and Herculaneum afforded citizens the opportunity to escape to their vacation villas in order to avoid the summer heat of Rome. Travel, except during the Dark Ages, has continued to grow and throughout recorded history has played a vital role in the development of civilization and the economy. ওই আমি সেকেন্ড এবং থার্ড টাইপের কোয়েশ্চেন, ওখানে কোনো অ্যান্সার এখানে পেলাম না। আমরা অস্ট্রেলিয়া নিয়েও কথা বলিনি, গ্রিস নিয়েও কথা বলিনি, তো এটা ওইভাবে পড়ার আমার দরকার নাই। নাও আই এম লুকিং ফর সেকেন্ডটা যে কোনো একটা হতে পারে, হতেও পারে নাও হতে পারে। আমি কি করেছিলাম, যেহেতু ফার্স্ট অ্যান্সার দিয়েছে এটা ক্রস করে দিয়েছে, এবং এই এতেও কিন্তু ফার্স্ট একটা ক্রস করে দিয়েছে। এখন লেটস মুভ অন টু দি সেকেন্ড ওয়ান। আচ্ছা, এইটা যখন পড়বো, দেখেন এটা ভালো করে খেয়াল করেন। আপনি যখন, আমি কিন্তু এটা কোনো ইনফরমেশনের জন্য খুঁজছি না, আমি এতটুকু কিসের জন্য পড়বো আর কি মাথায় রাখতে হবে কে বলতে পারবেন। আমি যখন এইটা বাই দি টাইম আই এম ডান, আমি কি মানে হোয়াট ক্যান আই টক সে অ্যাবাউট দিস ইন্ডিভিজুয়াল প্যারাগ্রাফ, তাহলে ওই অ্যান্সারটা আমার কিসে কাজে লাগবে, হেডিং এ কাজে লাগবে।
অন্যান্য হেডিং
না 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 না, আমি তো সেকেন্ড থার্ড টাইপ খুঁজবো, বাট এট দি সেম টাইম এইটা যদি পড়েন, আমি আপনাকে জিজ্ঞেস করবো, আপনি যদি এটা বলতে পারেন যে এখানে দুইটা টপিকের বেশি নাই, তিনটা টপিকের বেশি নাই, অথবা একটা টপিকের বেশি নাই, এটা যদি আপনি শিওর হয়ে বলতে পারেন, মানে আপনি কিভাবে পড়েছেন, হেডিং বের করার জন্য যেভাবে পড়তে হয় ওইভাবে পড়েছেন। আর যদি এইটা পড়ার পর আমি জিজ্ঞেস করি কি পড়লেন, আপনি যদি না মনে করতে পারেন আমি এত কিছু পড়েছি কিছুই মনে নাই, মানে কি ইউ আর নট রেডি ফর হেডিং, আপনি কনফিউজ। ইউ গট মাই পয়েন্ট এভরিবডি?
ইয়েস স্যার।
হ্যাঁ, আমি দেখি কিভাবে পড়ব। ধরেন I started reading that. First sentence is খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট, ফার্স্ট সেন্টেন্স ইজ ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট। আমি ফার্স্ট এটা পড়লাম, ফার্স্ট সেন্টেন্সটা খুব ভালো করে পড়বেন। কি বলবো, ট্যুরিজম in the mass form as we know it today is a distinctly 20th century phenomenon. প্রথম সেন্টেন্সে কিওয়ার্ড মানে কি, কিওয়ার্ড হচ্ছে কি আইডিয়া, এটা টপিক সেন্টেন্স, মানে এইটাই ফোকাস থাকবে বেশিরভাগ ক্ষেত্রে, পরে এটাই এলাবোরেট করবে। তাহলে আমাদের এটা কি নিয়ে আলোচনা হতে পারে এখানে, যে এটা ওরা প্রমাণ করবে যে এটা খুবই 20th সেঞ্চুরি ফেনোমেনন, মানে খুব রিসেন্ট একটা, ও আগে ওইভাবে এদের কি ছিল না, অত ঘোরাঘুরির কোনো মানে সুযোগ ছিল না। আমরা একটু পড়ছি দেখেন, তারপর এবং আপনি ফার্স্ট লাইনটা পড়ার পর যে সেকেন্ড লাইন পড়ছেন, আপনি দেখবেন যে নতুন কোনো ইনফরমেশন আসছে নাকি, যদি না আসে ওইটারই কন্টিনিউশন, মানে আপনি একই আইডিয়ায় আছেন, পরের লাইনটা পড়বেন, পরের লাইনে যদি দেখেন হঠাৎ করে চেঞ্জ হয়ে যাচ্ছে, তাহলে কি হচ্ছে, তখন যেটা হচ্ছে ইউ আর মুভিং টু অ্যানাদার আইডিয়া, মানে এটা আইডিয়া নাম্বার 2। এখন ওই আইডিয়া 2 শেষ পর্যন্ত যদি সেম আইডিয়া থাকে, তাহলে মোট কয়টা আইডিয়া পেলেন এই প্যারাগ্রাফে, দুইটা আইডিয়া। যদি আবার কিছুক্ষণ পরে গিয়ে যদি আপনি দেখেন আরেকটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট আইডিয়া আসছে, তাহলে কয়টা আইডিয়া হচ্ছে, তাহলে 3টা। আমার কথাটা বুঝছেন আপনারা, বুঝছেন নাকি বুঝছেন? দিস ইজ ইম্পর্টেন্ট। তখন দেখবেন যে এই 3টা আইডিয়া থেকে ওখানে আপনি হেডিং ম্যাচ করবেন, না হলে আপনি কিন্তু আসলে বোঝেননি। আমরা দেখি, আপনি আমাকে বলবেন কয়টা আইডিয়া হতে পারে। History suggests that the advent of mass tourism began in England during the Industrial Revolution, in the rise of the middle class and the availability of relatively inexpensive transportation. ওইটারই কিন্তু কন্টিনিউশন, বলে রিসেন্ট, মানে রিসেন্ট হয়েছে না ইন্ডাস্ট্রিয়াল রেভলিউশন, হ্যাঁ ইটস রিসেন্ট। The creation of commercial airline industry following the Second World War, মানে it's a recent one, and the subsequent development of jet aircraft in 1950 signaled the rapid growth and expansion of international. নতুন কি কোনো আইডিয়া পেয়েছি না ওইটাই, কেউ বলেন মাহমুদুল, নতুন আইডিয়া না ওইটারই এক্সপ্যানশন?
স্যার এক্সপেনশন,
ওইটারই এক্সপ্যানশন, আমরা কিন্তু পাইনি আইডিয়া, এইটাই আমি খুঁজছি। This growth led to the development of a major new industry, কি এটা, ট্যুরিজম। এই যে প্রথমে ট্যুরিজম আবার ওখানে চলে আসছে। In turn, international tourism became the concern of major world governments, since it is not only provided new employment opportunities but also provided a means of earning foreign exchange. ফরেন এক্সচেঞ্জ নিয়ে কথা বলছে, এটা কি খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট? এটা কি সব মুখ্য হতে পারে এই পুরো প্যারাগ্রাফে?
নো স্যার,
না, এটার ওইটা অপশন। তাহলে এখানে আপনাকে যদি আমি জিজ্ঞেস করি, তো অনেক কথা বলেছে, রেভলিউশন নিয়ে বলেছে, ইন্ডাস্ট্রিয়াল রেভলিউশন, জেট এয়ার নিয়ে বলেছে, তারপর কি ফরেন এক্সচেঞ্জ নিয়ে বলেছে, এইসব কিছু ডিস্ট্রাকশন। আপনার মনে হবে ওইটাও হেডিং হতে পারে, কিন্তু আপনি আসলে বুঝেছেন কি ওইগুলো কেন মেনশন করেছে, যেহেতু ওরা বুঝাতে চাচ্ছে যে কি এটা একটা রিসেন্ট ফেনোমেনন এবং এই বাকিগুলো সব রিসেন্ট ফেনোমেননের একটা অংশ। তাহলে এটা কি 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 হেডিং হতে পারে বলেন তো? What
স্যার
could be
একটু
the heading?
দুইটা উইন্ডো হলে স্যার ভালো হয়, মানে পাশের
না না আচ্ছা আচ্ছা এখনো তো আসেনি, এইটা আগে আপনি বলেন আমাকে, ওইটার আগে আপনাকে আগে এটা বের করতে হবে কি হেডিং হতে পারে, কি এইটাই এই দিস ইজ দ্য ওয়ে ইট শুড ওয়ার্ক। এখানে কি কি আপনার যে কেউ ইউ ক্যান পার্টিসিপেট, কি কি মানে কি হেডিং হতে পারে, কি নিয়ে
দ্য রাইজ অফ
আরেকটা কাজ করতে পারে, পুরোটুক পড়ার পর ফার্স্ট লাইনটা দরকার আবার পড়বেন, কারণ প্রথম সেন্টেন্সটা আমি এতক্ষণে ভুলে গেছি, আমি কিন্তু পুরোটুক পড়ছি। এই যে তাহলে হচ্ছে ট্যুরিজম ইন দ্য ম্যাস ফর্ম হ্যাজ বিন ইজ, মানে কি এটা আধুনিক, খুব আধুনিক একটা আইডিয়া। এইটাই এই ধরনের একটা আইডিয়া থাকবে, মানে এটা রিসেন্ট আইডিয়া। লেটস রিড ইট, কোনটা হতে পারে, কোনটা হতে পারে বলেন তো, কোনটা?
ডেভেলপমেন্ট অফ মাস ট্যুরিজম।
এই কোনটা হতে পারে? The development of mass tourism. আচ্ছা আমি কি ট্যুরিজমের কথা বলেছি নাকি এটা? কোনটা? এটা কোনটা হবে? আচ্ছা এটা কোনটা হবে? এত সহজ, আমি কিন্তু অন্যদিকে। আচ্ছা আচ্ছা এই যে দেখেন দেখেন এটা কি 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 অ্যানসার হবে আপনি? আচ্ছা এটা বি হবে। আচ্ছা অন্যগুলো ডিস্ট্রাকশন আছে নাকি দেখেন। এখানে কি আছে দেখছেন? আর্নিং ফরেন এক্সচেঞ্জ। যে বেশি পড়বে ওর কাছে মনে হতে পারে এটা হতে পারে। আর কি এই যে এয়ার ট্রাভেল, কথার কথা বলছি,
কন্ট্রিবিউশন, স্যার
এইগুলো কিন্তু কি করছে, এইগুলো কিন্তু অনেকগুলো ডিস্ট্রাক্ট। এখানে কিন্তু এইগুলো হবে না, আমি কথার কথা এটা হয়তো আরেকটার জন্য হতে পারে। তা আপনাকে এইভাবে পড়তে হবে যাতে আপনি ডিস্ট্রাক্ট না হন, আপনি বুঝেন যে আসলে এটা কি নিয়ে বলছে, আসলে কি নিয়ে বলছে, ডেভেলপমেন্ট ম্যাচ, অন্য কিছু না। আচ্ছা না হলে এই জন্য যদি আপনি সব পড়েন অথবা তবে একটা কথা, বেশিরভাগ সময় কি হয় প্রথম পার্টেই অ্যান্সার গুলো থাকে। এখন অনেক সময় বলে যে আমি প্রথম 2-3 লাইনের বেশি পড়বো না, এটা আমি খারাপ বলছি না, পড়তে পারেন, কিন্তু অনেক সময় এটা পুরোপুরি কাজে লাগে না। আপনি চেষ্টা করে দেখেন, যদি লাকি হন পেয়ে গেলেন, বুঝছেন? আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে।